it's just good to get our first win. You know, obviously it's just one, but we just got to keep working and you know, move on to the next one after Monday. But no, it's definitely, I think it's good to feel this, especially with the fans back, being able to get a win at home. It's huge, and I feel like the fans had a huge part to do with it, to be honest. You know, I'm not going to lie, you know, seeing them on the other side, that was a little different for me. But other than that, you know, once you throw that away and you kind of look at the scheme and, you know, our offense versus their defense, you know, you kind of forget about it in the middle of a game and while you're playing. So, you know, we tried to execute to the best of our ability, and that was it.
The Carolina Pro Football Report, presented by National PAL. Support National PAL at nationalpal.org.
So the Sam Darnold era has begun, and with a convincing win, 19-14, Panthers defeat the Jets. Colin, great first win.
Absolutely, great first win. Saw all aspects of this team play well, offensively, defensively, and special teams. Some of the questions that we had going into the game were answered in terms of the offensive line cohesion. That was the top question I had, considering what the outcome of last season was and some of the difficulties that Teddy Bridgewater faced due to that offensive line and that lack of cohesion. We saw a totally different offensive line today. I counted at least 5 times where Sam Darnold was sitting in the pocket, just kind of hanging out, relaxing, taking his time, going through his progression, and found his receivers. So that was huge in terms of building confidence in his offense, building confidence in Sam Darnold. Defensively, they got after the quarterback. Really, they really did. Was it 5 total sacks? I think it was 5, 4 or 5 total sacks. Yes. So it was a tremendous defensive effort, and like I said, special teams. I had a couple of huge returns, but the coverage teams were insane. Didn't allow the Jets to really do much of anything. So it was a tremendous win in all 3 facets for this team.
Well, Coach Rule had his thoughts on the win as well.
Number one, I was very proud to wear the FDNY hat today. As a native New Yorker, I had lots of friends and people that I know and care and love, you know, be in some way impacted on 9/11. And so to stand there and honor and remember the first responders of New York, to remember people who, you know, ran towards the fire, not away from it, to remember all the lives that were lost, all the families that had to move on, and especially specific to my family, you know, to remember Father Judge, what a special man that gave comfort to my wife's family after they lost my wife's sister Cheryl in TW 800. So we would have liked to put the game away and played better, but to, you know, get the onside kick and then pop a run into, you know, 4-minute defense was gratifying for all of us. So we'll get better. We'll get ready for next week. But that was, you know, my thoughts, and I'll just finally say it was great to play in front of the fans. It was great to walk off the field, not having to hear Ed Foley sing "Sweet Caroline" in the locker room, but hearing the fans sing it was wonderful and was special. And thank you to them for the energy that they gave us today. You know, we went into this game saying we were going to play field position. We felt like our defense was going to play well early, so we were moving the ball but not quite getting the points. But just kept saying, hey, let's play complementary football. Let's pin them down. Let's get the ball back, pin them, and eventually we'll crack through, and we did. So.
Question, if you will, about anything is with the kicking game. We saw Ryan make 2 field goals, but he did miss an extra point.
You did miss an extra point, you know, but you know, those things kind of happen. You know, unfortunately, considering that they moved the extra points back 15 additional yards, it happens. So that's not a big concern. He did connect on a 2, like you mentioned. So I think that the kicking game is in good hands with Ryan Santoso. But like I mentioned, man, I'm excited about the offense and the defense. You know, those 2 aspects of the game were definitely huge key aspects. And you know, this team is young and this team is growing. I mean, I know for a fact that this team is the youngest team in the NFL. And considering that fact, and for them to come out so hard and just really be clicking on all cylinders they were in all facets, a really, really good and well-prepared team that Matt Rule fielded today.
And typically the go-to guy is Christian McCaffrey. They did use him well today, but they also exploited Robbie Anderson. and other weapons on this team, they did an amazing job of spreading around the football.
That they did. DJ Moore had a couple of huge pass catches as well as a huge jet sweep run that he ran for a first down. So this offense is diverse. Joe Brady's offense is very diverse, and he has no problem getting the ball into various players' hands. And as he did in this game today, just shows that he has weapons all around him. We saw, like you mentioned, Robbie Anderson. I mentioned DJ Moore. Marshall, he came in and he had a couple of huge catches. He's a big body guy, man. That guy's going to be a very good player for this team. And so I think we already know about 22. He makes his contributions regardless. So as they continue to grow and they continue to find those tools and those weapons, they will continue to really find ways. Joe Brady would find ways to get these young players the ball, and it's going to be huge options for this team.
Now I'm looking up at the scoreboard. The score 19-14. It looks really close, a lot closer on the scoreboard, but in reality, this game was light years apart.
It was not that close. It was not that close. But you know what I will say? That the Jets came out and they played very well. Their rookie quarterback, he came out and he played very well. You know, they didn't cross the 50 in the first half. They crossed the 50 twice. I want to say once for sure, and then they had the turnover by Shaq Thompson. So young group, but at the same time, they're an upcoming group over there in the AFC East. But the way that the Panthers took care of business today on all facets, especially on the defensive side, creating 4 to 5 sacks today, 4 of those being amongst defensive linemen. You know, I speak highly about those guys and the pressure that they create situations for that offense, specifically negative situations for the offense. So it was definitely eye-opening. It was very, very refreshing to see this Panthers team play in all facets of the game, offensively, special teams-wise, and defensively. All facets showed up to the party today, and all facets flexed their collective muscles today. So excited to see how next week goes.
So hopefully they can keep the pressure up on the quarterback next week because they'll be facing New Orleans. That's going to be a little bit tougher test than these Jets today.
No question. I mean, that's a seasoned offense, obviously run by Sean Payton. No matter who's the quarterback, we know Jameis Winston's going to be the quarterback to start off. But at the same time, you know, this offense is what they are. They're going to, you know, try to take shots down the field. They're going to, you know, exclusively get the ball out to their receivers. They have one of the best running backs in the game in Alvin Kamara. So I expect for that team to come in ready to go. I mean, rearing off of a huge divisional win last year, considering they won the South last year. It's going to be huge trying to for the Panthers organization to really see where we are as a program, as a team, especially as we go into divisional games like this one.
Well, that does it for today's Pro Football Report on ADSN from Bank of America Stadium. I'm Kevin Tolbert along with Colin Cole. See you next time.
The National Police Athletic and Activities League helps support the mission of kids, cops, and communities. nationalpal.org.